Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Thanks for joining me today. Today we've got a really great restoration. We have from the Hot Wheels Spoilers series, the Sugar Caddy. Now this car was made after the Cadillac Eldorado. And I never seen an Eldorado look this cool, but this definitely takes the cake. We've got this all lined up to do a great restoration for you today, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Now these cars were only produced in Hong Kong, and then of course you can tell by the trademark blue windshield. So sit back, grab your favorite adult beverage, and if you don't drink, have a coffee or a Coke or a water or something, and enjoy today's restoration. Let's go ahead and get started with today's build.
It's time to start the autopsy.
I've already drilled out the post, so let's see what we got here. The engine is one of the posts itself. Here's the body. Got a lot of flea bites on there, and when I say flea bites, I mean that the paint is chipped off in little tiny areas. Same thing with the front. Hood opens up great though, so that's one less thing that we have to repair. Here's the engine. Now this engine can be found in several different kinds of Hot Wheels to include a 57 Chevy. So if you're looking for a replacement, that's a good place to go. Here's the base. Base is in pretty good shape, but we definitely have to polish it up and clean it. We got a lot of carpet fuzz around the axles. We'll cut that out of there, and we'll put some new wheels on there. That's in pretty good shape, so we're happy with that. Here's the interior and the windshield. Now the windshield is cracked, and we have a replacement for that, so we'll get that taken care of. And the interior needs to be scrubbed and cleaned. Let's go ahead and continue. Now that I got the car apart, I'm going to put everything I'm not using in a container, and I'm going to label it with a piece of tape. You can get these at Dollar Tree or Dollar General or one of the stores like that, and it's usually you can get 4 or 5 for a couple of dollars. But this way here, when you keep all your pieces together, you'll know exactly where they are and you won't lose them. And there's today's tip from your Uncle Paulie. Now we're going to dip the body in some citrus strip. Make sure you get it coated inside and out, and that way there, when you go to do a fresh color or a new color change, everything is gone off the casting. Dip it in there. Now you can take a paintbrush and you can clean it off if you wish, or just set it on a tray. Get rid of your excess. Here we've got the engine, and here I'm using a little bit of Flitz. I love this polish, and it works great on all metal surfaces, but also it'll polish your plastic and your glass just a little tiny bit, and use your Dremel to buff it in. Now you don't have to have the Dremel at full speed, okay? All you're going to do is burn the product, and you're liable to leave black stains on your metal or your plastic, or even melt your windshield if that's what you're using the polish for. So please be careful. But once you get that on there and polish it down right, it's going to look absolutely amazing. Let's move on. Here we're using Flitz again to polish the base. Now the base was a little bit on the rough side. You could touch it up with a brass brush or something, and do yourself a favor. Don't use a steel brush because it will really scratch up the surface. Use a brass brush or some steel wool, something soft, and you'll be thankful later on. That's looking really, really good. We'll get that all nice and polished up and continue on. Now it's time to do the tires. We got a couple of really big meats on here. We got some large meats for the back and some medium meats for the front. Now these cap style wheels only come in 2 sizes. They come in large and they come in medium, and that's it. Use your razor blade to go in between the wheel and the outer edge, or excuse me, the inner edge here. Rock it back and forth, and you can pop those old wheels right off. Now, I do save these wheels, and eventually I'll put them out there for somebody that could use them. Well, let's go ahead and snap these on. Now, I'm looking at the wheels here, and I accidentally grabbed the deep dish wheel. You can see the difference here. The deep dish wheels do look pretty cool. So I'll have to change it out because I didn't want to put deep dish on this one. But we'll get a replacement. Let's move on. Here we got the flits. We're going to polish the body now. We cleaned it up as best we could. Now I used this abrasive wheel. It's like a Scotch-Brite pad. And then I polished it down as best I could to get rid of any toning or any scratches. Now I'm going to use the flits to polish this bad boy up. Let's go ahead and speed this up. Now's a good time to sit back with your favorite beverage and enjoy the show. Now when you're polishing the hood, make sure you hold it down with your finger, because if that polisher or Dremel or whatever you're using grabs onto that shield or that hood, it's going to rip it off and you'll be sorry, and you're going to say a bunch of curse words. Here it's all polished, and man, it looks great. Now we're going to scrub this down with some degreaser, and I like to use Zep degreaser, CEP, and it's a citrus-based oil, and it comes out really good. So make sure you scrub this down with some degreaser so your paint doesn't repel off the surface when you put it on. Now we're going to repaint the car. I've got it in the spray booth. And I'm using the original green Spectraflame paint that the car came with. Make sure you put a mist coat on there or a tack coat, which is a very, very light coat. And when you get the whole surface covered on the inside and outside, you're going to let it set for about 10 to 15 minutes. This will give the time for the paint to start to harden up, and any other paint that you put on top of that, it'll give it something to hold on to. You'll do this 2 or 3 times, and then when you're done with the final coat, you're going to go in there, or you're going to do the final coat, you're going to go in there and put on a real nice saturation coat. But just be careful, because you can still get runs if you're not careful. These paints are incredible. I love them. Make sure you get the whole inside and the outside again. Now, when the car is done being painted and you're going to set it inside your cabinet or whatever to keep the dust from getting on it, if you're curious as to the car is dry or not, just touch it on the inside of the car. You don't have to worry about touching the outside and get fingerprints on it. But touch the inside and see if it's still tacky or if it's ready to go. When I'm done here, I'm going to spray it down with a layer of Diecast Graveyard 2K clear coat. This is my own formula, and it absolutely works fantastic. You get a big 2-ounce bottle and you get a 1/2 ounce bottle of hardener, and the measurement is absolutely perfect for what you need. It'll make your car look absolutely like glass if applied properly. That's looking fantastic. Let's move on. And here we have all the pieces. We got the body. That turned out absolutely phenomenal. That green really stands out, doesn't it? Here's the base, all polished up and brand new meats all the way around. That looks great. Here's the old glass with the crack in it. And here's the new glass. That looks really good. Here's the interior all cleaned up. And here's the engine polished. Let's put everything together and give my creation life.
Lies! Lies, do you hear me? Give my creation life!
And here's what we started with. This Spoilers Series edition from Hot Wheels Cadillac Eldorado called the Sugar Caddy. I love the Spoilers cars. They're absolutely my favorite cars of the Hot Wheels series. And I love restoring these cars, and I've got several in my collection, and I just remember them when I was a kid when they first came out. They were fantastic. We took the car apart. We evaluated what we had through an autopsy. We saw what we needed to do. We polished the engine. We changed out the glass. We polished the base. We polished the body. We put new tires on the car. We painted it down with Spectre Flame paint from the Redline shop, and we clear coated it with Diecast 2K Clear. And the results speak for themselves. This was a lot of fun, and I truly enjoyed what we did today. Make sure you mash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you got anything out of this video. And here's what we got to, folks. This is how it turned out, and I love this casting, and the paint job and everything turned out great. We detailed the taillights. We detailed the front grille. Now, the front grille normally is done in flat black. I did it in semi-gloss, and I think it looks that much better. But as I always say, you can do this too. Just follow the videos that I put out. I've got all kinds of how-tos in the how-to section, how to use an airbrush, how to buy an airbrush, a compressor, how to do zinc plating, all kinds of things, how to purchase an airbrush, how to purchase a compressor. And I do answer all your questions, all right? So go ahead, and if you got any questions, put them in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. But this car was an absolute joy to do because, like I said, I love these Spoilers series cars. We got a lot more videos coming out, and again, make sure you mash that like button and hit that subscribe button. This was a great time, and I've got a whole bunch of videos lined up, a lot of how-tos and stuff, so go ahead and stay tuned. We got a lot more things coming out. You have a great day, a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, and cheers.